The Paul Leslie Interviews.
Life Inside Out is about a mother who returns to her musical roots. She rediscovers the passion of her youth and finds a way to connect with her troubled teenage son.
Everybody's sure that they know just who I am. What if one day I just suddenly got my tongue pierced or something that no one would ever see unless I wanted them to?
So you write songs?
Yeah, I do. Well, I used to. I quit for a really long time.
Hi, I'm Laura Shaw. I called for a spot.
Does your guitar have a pickup? Okay.
I don't know.
Okay, so like Faith Hill's just gonna come into the Safeway one day and say, "Hey, hi, how you doing? Want to write a song for me?" I mean, who's gonna want to listen to a song
Written by me?
It is our pleasure to welcome the producer of Life Inside Out, Tessa Bell. First of all, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
What is this movie about, Life Inside Out?
Life Inside Out, it's about authentic living. It's about how do we find our true selves and how do we use the adversities that life throws at us to really be true to ourselves. And in this particular story, it's about a woman who has a kind of a challenging family situation, both interpersonal and financial. 3 sons and a husband, and 2 of the sons are real macho, and so is the husband. They hunt and they're macho men. And then a younger son who's not at all and who doesn't know who he is. And she also realizes that she has been taking care of these guys for a very long time and kind of lost herself as well. So she reconnects with her musical instincts and finds her guitar and starts playing her guitar and kind of wants to make a career out of it. And of course, we all know there's no money in music unless you're super, super lucky. So there's a lot of guilt there. But it turns out that the youngest son is really a musician as well. And so this big struggle uncovers for him who he is and also for her. So it's a lovely family story. It's very, very real. A lot of people have had this experience one way or the other.
How did you learn of the script, Life Inside Out?
The co-writer, Maggie Baird, who's also one of the stars of the show, of the movie, she is it was nepotism. She is the wife of my ex-husband's cousin. So we'd known each other quite a long time. And when I moved out to Los Angeles about 7 years ago, she gave me her couch and she let me, she took care of me and my daughter, Emma. So, this is kind of like, okay, it's time to return the favor, produce my movie for no money. So I said, okay. But the story was one that really resonates with me because I've had a similar experience with the curative powers of music. And, I felt like it was a really lovely, very true story that was worth spending 3 years telling.
Well, tell us a little bit about that, the curative powers of music. What do you mean?
I was diagnosed with leukemia in 1995 when I was 38 years old. I had 2 beautiful young children and a dog and 5 acres and a husband and a career. And suddenly I've got doctors telling me I got 6 months to live without a bone marrow transplant. And we didn't find a bone marrow match for me, and I didn't want to die. So I did everything. I just went on a journey to reignite my soul and to heal my body. And music was a really, really important part of that. I started singing again and in the choir, and then I started doing shows of my own and started doing cabaret in New York City. So I did a lot of cabaret for several years, and it made my heart sing as well as my mind. So music is incredibly powerful on many, many levels. Physical. I mean, when you sing, you breathe. So breathing helps when you're sick. That's what I mean by curative. I really think I don't have any even hint of the precursor to the leukemic condition that was supposed to kill me 20 years ago.
So was there a character in this movie, Life Inside Out, that you most identified with?
Oh, totally. I'm a mom who, in fact, I stopped my cabaret career when my daughter was about 14 or 15, and we were taking a class together in New York City at the School for Film and Television because we were doing shows together, cabaret shows together. And a lot of cabaret is also acting, which is what makes it so much fun. But so we were taking a class together at School for Film and Television. She was a beautiful, like, little 15-year-old girl. And the head of the school was teaching this class, and at the end of the class, she gave everybody an assessment. And to me, she said, and I must have been about 44 at the time, she said, "You may be talented, but you're 44 years old and you're starting a career as an actor. I'm going to hire all of the other 44-year-old women that I have worked with over the last 20 years who have been diligently working at their craft way before I ever hire you." I was like, okay. She was really tough on everybody except for two of the actors in there. And what she said to my daughter was, "The camera loves you. You are extremely talented. There is no way you cannot have a career in this industry unless you decide you don't want one." So I remember driving home that night and thinking to myself, okay, so we need to shift gears and we need to really focus on her career rather than my career. And it wasn't, violins didn't start playing. I wasn't crying. I was actually empowered by the decision. And it didn't change I'm still very creative and I'm producing films and I'm doing what I want to do. But at that moment, it was the right thing to do, to really give her the leg up that she needed right then. And so I totally relate to the story, to the storyline for sure.
Our special guest is Tessa Bell, the producer of the film Life Inside Out. How did you get involved in the film business?
I've kind of always been involved in the film business. I wanted to be an actor when I was very young, and I did a lot of theater in Washington, D.C. Then when I went to college, I was in a lot of film students' films, and found really quickly that I did not like being the stupid blonde on the front side of the camera, that I really wanted to be on the other side of the camera telling everybody what to do. So right out of college, I worked for a documentary company, and then I worked for CBS Evening News and 60 Minutes, and it evolved from that into commercials and industrials and little children's films. And so I've kind of always been in film. Feature films has been absolutely the big dream. So this is my second feature. We're on our way.
What do you want people to get from the experience of watching Life Inside Out?
Well, actually, what I want them to get and what they actually get are the same thing. So that's really cool. This is a really lovely, authentic movie with authentic performances about people that you and I know. And most of what we get from Hollywood these days is myth. And myth is beautiful and is a very important component of storytelling. But the film industry has kind of gone in that direction very exclusively, except for a few of these tiny little indie films that get done. And even nowadays, a lot of the indie films that get done are like transgendered people or women who are having sex with their best friend's sons, or, it's all this kind of edgy stuff. And when I was growing up, independent films were investigations of real life and were meant to touch the chord of your heart, not necessarily create a lot of adrenaline or a lot of angst, or they were meant to validate your existence and give you a way to see your life with its transformative powers. And that's what this film really does, is it validates a lot of people's just normal lives and makes normal life the heroic thing that it truly is. So, and I think people get that from this movie.
Will people across the United States be able to watch this movie?
Fingers crossed. We're going to New York January 16th for a week at the Quad, and we're very excited about that. We got great reviews in Los Angeles, so we had a theatrical release in Los Angeles. Theatrical release in New York. If we get really well reviewed in New York, we might be able to do a theatrical release sort of city by city and kind of roll it out city by city. But other than that, we do have a DVD distributor, and it'll be available on DVD and VOD probably in the spring. But, you can go to our website and watch the trailer, and you can sign up, and we'll give you updates as to where we're showing and what the status of it is. So the website is lifeinsideoutthemovie.com. And if you go on there, the trailer's on there. A lot of the music that's in this movie has a ton of beautiful music. And a lot of that music is on the website, and a lot of it's free to play.
What would you say to anyone listening in?
Go watch the trailer, because you're going to be grateful that you did, and sign up or go to New York and see my movie on January 16th.
Well, my last question. Who is Tessa Bell?
Ah, who is Tessa Bell? Well, Tessa Bell is a human spirit trying to find her best self. She journeys through all of these moments of pain and joy and love, and I'm super, super grateful, to be honest with you. I'm super grateful to be alive. Having had that experience with the almost dying has made the rest of my life really meaningful. And so whenever I tend to like feel sorry for myself, I get a real easy reality check. I'm really one of the luckiest women on the planet, and very grateful to be alive and to be interviewed by you.
Oh, wow. I like what you said, the first part especially. That was inspiring, to say the
Oh,
least.
good. That's nice.
Thank you very much for sharing with us.
Well, thank you so much for having me, and I hope your audience, has a chance to come and join us, and it would be wonderful to share the story to as many people as possible.
Thanks so much.
All right, you have a beautiful day.
All right, then the same to you.